Evening. That should be a situation that suits Arsenal, with their defence the tightest in the country over the last few seasons. Ray, how do you see it going tonight?
I think Arsenal are going to go through for me, Matt, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough evening for them.
Well, George Weah, the Liberian striker who scored for Paris against Real Madrid away, is dropped tonight, but not a bad replacement.
Yes, they've brought in Rai. He's played 46 times for Brazil and scored 12 goals. So it's not a bad replacement, and he's a player that is packed full of experience as well. This is going to be a tough whole night for the Arsenal.
OK, Ray, plenty to look forward to this evening. Let's join your commentators in just a moment. By the way, at half-time you'll have your chance to win a trip for two to the final of the World Cup. But there are your commentators. Brian Moore, who's joined by Ron Atkinson.
Well, good evening to you from the commentary box. It's a dirty night here, but a night full of expectation. The rain has been pouring down since 5 o'clock. The teams where George Graham kept his Arsenal selection a secret until the last possible moment, and then unveiled a side that showed an important change. Paul Merson has got a touch of flu and a bad throat. His place goes to Kevin Campbell. Ian Selly keeps his place in the midfield. So that's the Arsenal line-up tonight for this important second leg. Paris Saint-Germain, meantime, as we just wait for the kick-off, had to decide whether key defender Alain Roche had recovered sufficiently to play. He missed the first leg. Well, he's playing, and they important change. The Liberian striker George Weah has been left out, and Brazilian Rai comes in. 3 Brazilians in their side now: Rai, Ricardo and Valdo. Referee Peter Mikkelsen, who's a World Cup referee from Denmark. A carnival atmosphere, as you've seen, with the red cards and the yellow cards being brandished around Highbury. Not too many red cards tonight. As Arsenal fans get in the mood, they hope that will take them and their team to the final in Copenhagen 3 weeks tomorrow night. So Paris Saint-Germain, the cup winners of France, in the blue strip, attacking the goal to our left. Adams knocking it wide to Winterburn. Up to right. George Graham has called for patience. Well, might have us on the edge of our seat, and certainly Arsenal won't want to concede anything too early on. Here's Ginola, such a dangerous man, and ball safely through to David Seaman. Patience, says the Arsenal manager. Maybe easier said than done, certainly for a lot of us watching. Every instinct, I suppose, will be for us to want to Arsenal really to set about their task with gusto tonight. Here's Kevin Campbell, Dixon. When the captain for Paris Saint-Germain getting in quickly, but the throw goes to Arsenal. The balance tilted, of course, fractionally Arsenal's way because of that away goal scored by Ian Wright in Paris. Remember, the teams where they're level on aggregate over 2 legs, goals scored away from home count double. I'm sure you know that by now. So a goalless draw, in fact, would put Arsenal through. A 1-1 draw would mean extra time. And the first hold up, the ball I think is in amongst the Parisian fans in that corner. And so with the game less than 2 minutes old, a new ball. Lee Dixon with the throw for Arsenal. Smith just ducking in there at Gwen, but the flag is up for an offside. Bernard Lama, who had a terrific game in the Parc des Princes a fortnight ago, French #1. Ginola getting in behind them there, but the ball is skidding a little bit on this surface. It's been raining here in North London since about 5 o'clock. Oh, bad throw out by Seaman. Valdo. Ginola's waiting in there. And Rai didn't really get a firm touch on it, but a dreadful mistake there by David Seaman. Ron Atkinson?
As you say, an absolute nightmare of a blunder by David Seaman, but full marks to Tony Adams. Tony Adams was straight in there and made a great reactionary recovery save there. I mean, that looked a cert goal to me when saw Valdo cutting it back to Rai.
But it's a corner for Paris Saint-Germain. It's not over yet. Whipped in and knocked behind again, that time by Steve Bold. That's Rai. Just another picture So there he is again, the Brazilian captain. Seaman caused a few hearts to flutter around Highbury a moment ago. Here's another corner. Held in again Steve Fold got in the end of that, and knocked behind by Rai for the goal kick.
You know, Brian, when I looked at the lineup before the game, I thought that the Paris team would have a very, very much a retreating sort of attitude to the game. Do you know?
There's the mistake, Ron.
Here it is. I mean, that's a dreadful mistake. And from here on in, you'd have bet money. You'd bet money to pick one of them out, and he has actually. But I think all credit there to Tony Adams on that. But to get back to the earlier point, Brian, they have come out and they've planted two players straight up the front, Ginola and Valdo, and Rai's been given the license to get up there with them. I think we're actually going to see, obviously, Paris Saint-Germain know they need a goal, and we're going to see a very, very positive approach from them, I think.
Dixon then with the throw for Arsenal. Here's Wright. Another throw for Arsenal. Merson missing, remember, with a bad throat. Kevin Campbell taking his place. Here's Jensen for Arsenal. Valdo. Oh, taken out by Jensen.
Yes, I think George Graham will be asking him to pay close attention both to Valdo and Rai when he drops off into the midfield areas.
Another consideration, of course, is that 8 of these Arsenal players are on yellow cards, and Jensen is on one of them. Another yellow card, and if Arsenal were to get through to the final, they would miss it with 2 yellow cards. Germain. Picking up Fournier. It came off a defender, I think, also. It's spinning away there. And indeed, it's a throw to Paris Saint-Germain. Germain. Colataire. Le Guen. And a little toe poke there. And Seaman getting it away. Campbell going up there, but not getting a touch. Adams again. Got forward, the rain still thundering down here at Highbury. Le Guen, but it's a super surface here, and it just made it all the slicker as a result of this rain that we've been having. A free kick to Arsenal.
As you say there, Brian, I think the Arsenal defenders and midfield players will have to be very, very careful. I mean, you look at Valdo, you look at Rai, Ginola, all skillful players, and this is a sort of surface that can wrong foot people. People with skill can easily make defenders make mistakes.
Arsenal throw. Smith. Dixon. Looking to measure up across, gets one in. It's a goal there! It's Kevin Campbell! A super start for Arsenal!
What a magnificent ball from Lee Dixon. I mean, we talk about the quality of crossing. Look at this.
And the keeper caught out of the near post a little bit here.
Kevin Campbell unmarked, picks the only spot that would have got him a goal. The keeper's very unlucky there, Lam. A great attempt, but a magnificent cross and a great finish there. Keeper may slightly have been anticipating a longer cross to Ian Wright over at the far post. But what a dream start that is for Arsenal.
Here's Winterburn. So Arsenal go ahead on aggregate now. Here's Dixon. Davis. Smith. Back to Davis. But again, the French get possession. Fournier. Wrong-footed Ginola. Dixon. Off again. But Ricardo was there for Paris Saint-Germain. This is Germain, the little worker. Oh, didn't really get a challenge in there. Fournier again. Well, it was Wright coming back. Made a very good challenge there on Fournier. Jensen finds White. Touch back to Winterburn. Bit forward again. Smith inside for Wright. Davis up there. Wright, who's into everything at the moment and wins a free kick.
Well, they're playing that shape again, aren't they, Arsenal, with Campbell basically operating down the right-hand side of Smith, and Wright's got the responsibility of covering the left-hand side, both up and down the field. Free kick for Arsenal. Ricardo getting it away. Jensen to Winterburn. Arthur George, the coach of Paris Saint-Germain, might just be asking where Ricardo was actually on the marking job on Campbell. I mean, Campbell, great header from a great ball in, but acres of space to operate in.
Wright trying to wriggle through three defenders there. Up goes Adams again. Dixon backpedaling. Good clearance too, up towards Alan Smith. He struggled to beat the likes of Sassus in the air tonight, but big number 2. Trying to find Ginola now, the man who scored for Paris Saint-Germain in the first game. Arsenal playing the Frenchman dive. You see that Gibson thought so. The Spanish referee has given a free kick, which Valdo, the Brazilian, Gwen, who's got an excellent left foot, and Rai is waiting, as you could see. It's Le Guen with a left foot, but he hits it straight at Selly, who's been knocked out by it. Ricardo. Selly's up again.
All the talk will be obviously about that great start for Arsenal, the early goal and so forth. But how important that tackle was at Tony Adams about 2 minutes earlier. I mean, it could have been disaster for Arsenal. All of a sudden, they're in the bus seat.
Selly knocking it sideways. The throw to Paris Saint-Germain. Germain finding Ginola. And Jensen is down, touching his head as well. Valdo. Turn, a little flick, Ginola knocking it back, tried to get the ball in. Campbell had gone back to do a good defensive job there for Arsenal. Not away yet. Le Guen, Valdo, who's probably the best player on the field, I thought, in Paris a fortnight ago, the Brazilian Valdo.
I shouldn't think Johnny Jensen's thinking that about him at the moment. I've got a funny feeling that he's just whacked him off the ball, Valdo.
Oh, well, he's been whacked there. And no mistake about it. By Colater. And this yellow card. Actually, I think you're probably right, Ron. Lee Dixon was having a word to the referee there and showing an elbow. And
yeah, I think as the ball gets transferred to the other side here, this is the incident where he takes him out.
That was the yellow card incident.
To say, in all fairness, I actually didn't see it, but I've got a funny old feeling the way he went down and the way Valdo scampered away very quickly afterwards. But something untowards happens to Jensen created by Valdo.
Seaman with the kick. The rain still driving down here. Smith going in, the feet were high. It's a free kick to Paris. Beating the French First Division by 5 points. Jensen trying to force that through towards Winterburn. In the end, it was Bold who made it. Up goes Smith. Nobody out there.
Jensen's well in the wars, Brian. He's taking another whack with the heavy tackle there.
His 80th game for Arsenal since he arrived from Denmark. Smith. Jensen again. A good ball by Wright to Campbell. Dixon's available inside him. Here's Dixon, there's his cross. This time the French were ready for it. Valdo turning away and Dixon catching him.
Yeah, they'll just have to be a little bit patient with their tackles, particularly in non-dangerous areas. As you say, so many of them on yellow cards.
Gold going for this one, wins it in the air. Winterburn. And again, taking it from right that time. Davis getting it forward to right, right giving it away this time to Germain. Valdo. Germain again. Arsenal can't get a hold of it at the moment as Ricardo hits it long towards Rai. Ginola shot charging off Tony Adams. And Arsenal slickly getting it away with Dixon hitting it long. Ricardo, here comes Selly. Ricardo again. Back to Lama. Ooh, it's a dangerous game this. Their skill got them out of it. The Colaterre. Aldo.
You can see the respect they've got for Valdo, though, can't you? As soon as the ball's into him, there are red shirts gathering around him straight away.
I thought he was the star of the show. I know Ian Wright scored, and it was a great night for Arsenal.
He was superb, superb. And he gets in that position where sometimes, as I say, in Paris, he's doing the same again tonight. He drops short, then goes and joins the front men. And it's a very difficult to mark. That's where I think John Jensen will get a big responsibility, either picking him up, or as I say, Rai, who's now pushed right up front since the goal. I thought they were going to alternate a little bit, Valdo and Rai.
Le Guen hitting it towards Rai. Arsenal throw. Well, George Graham usually spends a fair bit of time in the first half up in the director's box, but there's some anxiety about him tonight, even though Arsenal are a goal up, and he's down on the bench very early on. Right, trying to nick that wide of the defender to find Campbell. Valdo. You get the feeling that Arsenal might well need that early goal from Kevin Campbell. Vera. Ginola. Sassu. Playing it around well now with a lot of confidence. Ginola again, but Winterburn's waiting there for him. Clips it away. Just clips off the Frenchman, so it's a throw to Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I wonder whether George is saying, can we try and push the game up the field a little bit? Because, as we saw in the first game, and as we're seeing tonight, their best players appear to be their front-running players. You know, they've got 3 or 4 players there, Valdo, Rai, Ginola, who've all got instant skill, all got the ability to be match winners. Whereas I didn't think out there their defence was quite as strong. And I mean, if looking at the marking for the goal, that might just substantiate that.
Here's the free kick, floated in, Seaman stayed back, but Arsenal get it away.
Yeah, I think he was right to there, Brian, to be fair. I think when you see Adams and Bold in front of you looking as if they're going to deal with the situation, there's no need to come and make a little bit of a crowd scene. I mean, they'll deal with most things planted on top of them, won't they, in the air?
I gather the instruction from George Graham was that he wanted Ian Wright to play more down the centre than down the left flank. Arsenal throw. At last they've got the ball into the Paris half again. No doubt about it, the spectre of that defeat by Benfica in the European Cup here a couple of seasons ago keeps reappearing here at Highbury. That was also after a 1-1 in the away leg in Lisbon, you may remember, and then Arsenal were, in all honesty, outclassed and were beaten in extra time. What worries me also about that, if I remember rightly, it was a Brazilian, I don't know if I can pronounce him, Isaias, who was the masterminded midfield for Benfica that night, and there are 3 Brazilians here against Arsenal tonight. It's a free kick. The late challenge on Winterburn.
There's certainly been no prisoners taken in the challenges by both sides. You know, they're saying go straight away. Of course, this is a position Arsenal love, isn't it? Last third, set play. All the big guys can get in there, plenty of movement.
The goal again.
The goal again. I mean, that's a great Arsenal goal, but you would have to be asking yourself where the markers were. But full marks to Arsenal. They worked it brilliantly. So the keeper's almost got to it, hasn't he? Almost got a full hand on that.
I think you're right. He was probably looking for the longer cross towards Ian Wright.
Yeah, he just started away. Dixon crossed it, and Dixon's just drifted the one in brilliantly there.
4 goals in 6 European games for big Kevin Campbell. 19 all told this season. Winterburn looks as though he's struggling there a bit, you know. Two Parisians going across. Have a word with the referee to say, come on, let's get on with the game. We've got work to do.
I'm not quite sure how he'd replace him there. Would he bring Eddie McGoldrick on, who's played left back for the Republic, or Martin Keown, who's played left back for England?
I think they're both warming up, Ron, which doesn't help the situation, but at the moment Arsenal down to 10 effectively because Winterburn is really struggling. There's the free kick, not particularly well delivered on that occasion. It's Lee Dixon now for Arsenal. This is where Arsenal need to watch out, because if they commit too many forward, you get the impression that the Paris side will be so good on the break. Dixon knocking it forward again. Campbell getting in behind them. Wright coming up quickly as well. And it's a throw.
Just wonder whether Big Campbell delayed it that second too long there, whether he should have just whipped it in first ball, because Wright had started to come at the front post. He started to attack the front post.
Lee Dixon has completed 6 years at Highbury, the number 2. It's the throw towards Smith, nodded on by him towards Campbell. Germain gets it away. Adams in quickly. Valdo knocking it forward. He hit 1-2 Arsenal players and eventually gets wide here for Germain. He's had a war of words with Lee Dixon, both in Paris and in the press since. Valdo. This is Rai. Germain in there. And Fournier. Worrying moments these, you know.
Yeah, they've got good quality when they start zipping the ball about around the Arsenal penalty box. Arsenal looking for an offside here, but Rai actually in the centre may have been offside. But once he's got to there, I thought, are they going to produce again? And I should think to the Arsenal fans for a horrible moment, that may have looked as if it's hit the underside of the bar and got him.
Smith battling. The ball eventually came off the Frenchman. She's a Brazilian, number 4, Ricardo. As I said, 8 of the Arsenal players on yellow cards. We'll show you a list of those in a moment when the play allows us to. Bold knocking it forward. Davis a little ball to Jensen. Now to Ian Selly, the 19-year-old. Knocks it back again. This is Steve Bold. Floating one here to Dixon. Politaire. Jensen. Bold. Goodness. And now Seaman gets it clear. Selly ducking under it. Fell nicely for Davis. Now for Bold.
Just hope that Bold and Adams particularly don't take too many chances with those 2 Brazilians and Ginola. You know, they're inviting them to have the ball, and all of a sudden Valdo and Rai will just go and press them and try and nick it off them. And sometimes you can lull defenders into a little bit of a false sense of security when they think they've got plenty of time and can just play the ball and stroke the ball around.
Saint-Germain were said to be surprised, well, not by Arsenal's commitment, they expected that in the first leg, but by their level of skill that went with it. And you get the feeling that Arsenal have got to be at their very best tonight here to hold on to this one-goal advantage now, given to them by Kevin Campbell. Smith getting underneath this one. It might come for Campbell. He's got some support here from Selly. Trying to dink a little ball in again for Campbell.
I think that's probably the reason why George wants Ian Wright to push up the middle, because they're playing an extra defender in the middle there. With the inclusion of Alan Roche, they've got an extra central defender in there, and probably he wants to put more pressure on and try and keep the ball up that end of the field more.
Well, referee Mikkelsen of Denmark, even though Dixon is down, wants the game to go on. And Wright tried to turn that one in from Campbell's pass. Dixon's on his feet again, as you can see. Winterburn on the other side has got a dead leg, has been told to run it off, and here he is now, being helped to do that. Plays the ball in for Davis. Up to Smith, little touch, didn't come off, right on that far side. Didn't have a chance with that. Davis again, Jensen, Selly. Campbell's up ahead of him, Selly's shot.
I think that's excitement. That's the youngster getting excited with the tempo and what's on the game.
Adams, fine piece of defensive work again by him. Germain. This is Roche, who missed the first leg. Ooh, Adams just got a touch there. Ginola, rather Valdo, with Ginola waiting in the middle. Rise in there too. Selly looking to hold up the Brazilian, and it eventually came off Dixon for the corner.
I think it's fair to say, although they're getting beat 1-0, they've probably had the more dangerous situations, haven't they?
Considerably so, Ron. Valdo with the corner for Paris Saint-Germain. Alan Roche coming back to that one. And just nodded wide there. Well, Arsenal are living dangerously. I think that was Sassu with that header.
I mean, that's good quality. That's a good delivery. Fast with a good bend on it. There you see the big defender. Arsenal pushing up, trying to get an offside. Always worries me. Cost them the goal out there in Paris with nobody on the post. And if that had been on target, he scores with that, doesn't he?
Arsenal's throw.
I think you're right when you say there's an awful lot of playing to be done yet.
Yes, I think they're going to need the goal and possibly another one to go with it, Arsenal. Campbell. Dixon. Smith. Bit of space. Cross in. And Wright's header didn't really get a contact on it. He felt that he was facing a physical assault there too from Alan Roche.
I think you'd be surprised just how much space he had got, hadn't he? But that was good build-up again on the right-hand side. Ending in that right-footed ball in from Alan Smith. That's a good ball. It doesn't look, just puts it into space. And he's actually got plenty of space again between the two defenders.
Arsenal's throw. 27 minutes gone. Leading 2-1 on aggregate, Arsenal, after Kevin Campbell's goal tonight. Winners go into the final in Copenhagen 3 weeks tomorrow night to play the winners of the other semi-final, Parma of Italy and Benfica, who play the second leg of their match tomorrow. Benfica leading 2-1. Second leg's in Italy. Arsenal's throw. Bowled up there to knock it on. Goal kick.
Another very, very promising situation. I actually thought he handled the long ball that was knocked down to him, David Ginola. But as you know, looking at that, that was something with a little bit more skill that could have produced a very, very telling situation there.
Smith. Free kick for Paris. Valdo. Quickly seizing upon the chance to close him down, but Valdo making space for himself. A lovely ball by him to Ginola. Colater. Oh, saved by Seaman.
They're actually looking, I know we thought they were a very good side in the early part of the game in Paris, but they're looking a far more dangerous and incisive side. So, I mean, that's lovely build-up, and Colette's shot, brilliant, well, not brilliant, but a very, very good touch over from Seaman.
So then with the corner again. Oh, hustling in there. My goodness, Rai was so close to putting that one in.
Not very often you see Arsenal out-muscled in their own penalty box, Brian, and that's happening from corners. If you like, they're reversing the roles a little bit. I mean, this is sort of Arsenal tactics. There you go, as you said, tremendously. Catches him on the shoulder, actually.
Arsenal leading, but at the moment, clearly second best.
But that's all down to the delivery of Valdo. A fast, ugly ball in.
Selly. Smith trying to force that ball through to right on the far side. Sassou with the long clearance for Paris Saint-Germain. Up goes Adams again. Going to need all his defensive qualities tonight, and Steve Bold as well. Germain.
Ginola's gone right up the front for Paris Saint-Germain now. Whereas out in the home leg, he occupied the left flank most of the game. Tonight he's carried the fight through the middle in place of George Weah.
Colater. Towards Valdo. Out comes Seaman. Finds right with it.
I know they're very good as a backline, Arsenal, Brian, but I do feel they're leaving spaces between defenders, and people of the quality of Wright, people of the quality of Valdo, and of course Ginola, of course, are expert at getting between defenders. I think there may be a case. Arsenal sometimes play with their fullbacks very wide, Winterburn and Dixon, to get them on the way to produce crosses. I think at the moment one of them better stay at home a little bit and just stay close to the two centre-backs.
Well, it's Winterburn, one of them now, with the throw for Arsenal. Bold is there. Winterburn down the line. Wright is there. Campbell's waiting in the middle. Cannoned off the defender. Rai, Jensen and Valdo. Jensen just knocking it through for Dixon to hit it forward again to Campbell. Campbell brought back. Maybe it was a handball as he was trying to control it. A free kick again to Paris Saint-Germain.
See, that's probably one of the reasons why I feel they don't have to overstretch from the back, Brian, because I do feel that the front three of Arsenal are capable of taking the Paris defence to pieces.
Terrific jump a moment ago from Tony Adams. And a free kick given to Arsenal, is it? No, it's a throw.
Just wonder whether Paris Saint-Germain can sustain this at the attacking pace. They were like this out in the home leg and then couldn't sustain it. I felt they went in both halves very badly after the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Dixon looking for Campbell. Smith trying to get in there. Winterburn now for Arsenal. By Smith. His persistence paid off there. But then Smith gave it away to Germain. Valdo. Oh, lovely play by Valdo again. Fournier playing it wide for Rai. Valdo again. Germain's up there in a dangerous position. Colater as well. Likes to get it onto the left foot, but no problems there for Arsenal.
Well, once again, a brilliant piece of attacking play. All going down the right. Some good passes between Rai, Ginola and Valdo, then a great change ball across here to Patrick Coletta on the break.
Again, all started by Valdo, though, Ron.
Yes, I mean, he is, as you so rightly said, he is a very, very good, well, he's a good technical player, but he's also got a little dig in him as well.
Playing handball. And Mr. Nicholson, the referee, agrees. Tony Adams. Up to Campbell. Germain. Valdo. Forward again. Germain chasing this. Adams scoops it clear, only as far as Valdo. Slip past Selly. Looking up to see what might be available for him. He's going to release it when he's ready. Fournier, a little dummy that time by Valdo. He's got it back again. Plays it wide this time to Coletta. Free kick there for the foul on Jensen.
Just a bit worried the way they were popping the ball about then, you know, that one of the Arsenal players was going to dive in and trip somebody on the edge of the box, thinking in terms of what Rye or Valdo might do with a free kick. At the moment, Arsenal have done well in that respect. They haven't conceded any free kicks in dangerous areas. And I mean, we've seen what Rye can do in the past on free kicks, and I've no doubt Valdo can as well.
Ricardo underneath this one. Goes Davis. It's with Dixon. Surely an obstruction by Germain. It is a free kick to Arsenal.
And when we talk about the merits of the two Brazilians in the attacking sphere, I think Ricardo's a weakling for them. I think he's gone past his best, and he's somebody that can be pressurised and worked.
Well, they're waiting for Bowl to come forward. It was from a Davis free kick that Arsenal scored here against Torino, and if memory serves me, in Paris as well. And here's another of them. Wright trying to get on the end of that. Jensen's also in there. Winterburn playing it into Smith. The handball though. Taking the free kick from a good 10 yards further from where the offence occurred. Winterburn. Here's Wright. That's a free kick. Fouled by McGren. Gets it back to Coletta. Coletta was fortunate to get it back to Germain. Arsenal's throw. Dixon just lifting it forward towards Smith. With the header, he looked for Campbell, couldn't find it. Smith coming back to look for it again. Jensen. Takes it up for Arsenal. Right on the far side. A long cross towards Alan Smith. Knocked down by him, but some shoving by Smith, and a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain. Let's have a quick word with Gary Newbon down on the touchline.
Well, the message that Arsenal bench is are giving their players quite loudly is get back and support the midfield. That's for the two wide players up front, and also to all the team to stop being caught with the ball. They've got to stay on their feet and get rid of the ball quickly. Don't get caught in possession. They're quite anxious about this aspect of the game at the moment, Arsenal.
Gary? Well, I think there's every reason for George Graham to look a little anxious, because the French have looked a real class outfit here tonight, even though they are a goal down, and they've now conceded a free kick.
Yes, I must admit, I still don't fancy them defensively, Brian. Every time the ball is knocked up, say from Winterburn or Dixon, there's always a problem. They don't deal with it convincingly at the back. I mean, I think they're complaining there about Alan Smith keep backing in and sort of groping and grappling with them, but that's what Alan Smith does.
Free kick, Selly with it. And Adams was diving in there. They claim a corner and Arsenal get it.
I'll tell you what, they bought the three-card trick there, did the French team. There's all the movement from Arsenal, and that man there, Tony Adams, is creeping up and almost got himself spare at the back post.
Paul Davis with this one. Hold at the near post with that little flick on. But Bernard Lama, and an offside flag is up against David Ginola.
I'll tell you what, Bernard Lama actually takes a longer run up there as well than Michael Holding used to, didn't he? Took enough paces with that one. I'd also like to see that again. I'd question whether Ginola was offside.
Winterburn. Selly. Oh, will Valdo get there? Adams just got there first, finds Selly, tries to find Campbell, it's given away again, it's Collier now for Paris. Valdo. Ran away from Fournier, but he picked it up again. Some good work there by Winterburn. Trying to get up there. Campbell's gone past him. Well, Ricardo will be in trouble here. A yellow card.
As I say, when Campbell was running at him there, in all fairness, Ricardo knows full well if he hits the grass with it behind, that's game, set, and match. He'll never catch him.
Free kick to Arsenal. Fair distance out.
But this is good for Arsenal now. They're able to build up pressure. Able to build up pressure on Paris Saint-Germain, and you just wonder, you know, in both halves of the game, they did fade from the scene a little bit.
Right, trying to dig it in
Paris
towards Selly.
The French team did fade from the scene very much so in both halves.
In goes Winterburn, but here's Ginola. Half stopped though by Jensen, but Fournier playing it in. That came off Adams. Here's Collier. Valdo outside him. Waiting in the middle too. This is Le Guin. Good left foot on him and a powerful shot too. Ginola having his shirt pulled by Adams. Le Guin. Difficult moments these for Arsenal. The last 5 minutes of the first half. Le Guin with a cross and a good one too, but some good defending again. Guess who? Tony Adams.
Well, that's brilliant defending because they do steam. That's what George Graham's possibly on about. He's looking for Campbell to try and close this flank down. Colette's now striding forward every chance he gets, and the delivery's always good from this left-hand side.
Well, Sasso's up from the back, a dangerous man. Valdo, who's delivered good corners. He's played a different one this time. Just knocked in there again. It was Adams who was most alive to it. His header finds Wright. Now Wright trying to get away from Collier and from Roche, but Roche, who's just back from injury, goes down. And well, is this going to be a yellow card for Ian Wright? I think it is, and that would mean he's out of the final. If Arsenal go through, Wright doesn't want to look. But Peter Mikkelsen, the Danish referee, I think is going to show the yellow card to Ian Wright.
I must confess, I thought Ian Wright was a little bit hasty there. I think what he'll be saying there, Ian Wright, that he genuinely tried to hook the ball.
Oh, look, you're on.
Yeah,
Shades of Paul Gascoigne in 1990.
Well, that's got to be the mental thing with him, hasn't it? He's got to get on with it, Brian, now.
Yeah, there are tears for Ian Wright. The yellow card means that if Arsenal were to get through to the final in 3 weeks' time in Copenhagen, then he won't be a part of it that night.
As I say, the important thing is now that's gone, that's history. He's got to now to try and compose himself and make sure Arsenal do get through to the final.
There are the other 7 on yellow cards with 1 booking. It's a tightrope that Arsenal are walking. I just wonder whether, well, obviously Wright didn't, but I just wonder whether the other players now will put a mental safety catch on their player on.
I mean, we talk about the final, but the most important thing, obviously, is to get there. Okay, if they get into a sort of winning situation, 2 or 3 up, then it's a different kettle of fish. But at the moment, they're living on a sort of tightrope.
Well, poor Ian Wright is in tears now, just as Paul Gascoigne was. I wonder if Gaz is watching tonight. I hope he's making a good recovery. Send our good wishes to you, Gazza.
Brian, I don't think it was anything vicious or intentional, but I do feel it was a little bit impetuous.
Smith gets it over. And it's a goal kick.
You know, it's the sort of situation we've seen in Peter Beardsley, particularly where he hooks the ball back from a defender, but that was well out of his range. Nothing with what's gone on. I mean, there has been some fiery tackling and challenging, hasn't there? What's gone on, the referee's always liable to book somebody.
Yes, Adams beaten in the air that time by Ginola. Knocked on that time by Rai. Germain chasing it. The back heel, Selly's in there. Le Guen. Ginola. Solitaire, just touching it through. Oh, Rai's there. Arsenal struggling to get this one away. Sassu, the defender. That's not a bad cross in, but it was Adams who got it away. Knocked forward by Selly. Campbell won't get hold of that. Harris coming at them again as we're playing time added on at the end of 45 minutes. Valdo.
I must say the captain's been a giant for them in these moments when there's been heavy pressure on them.
Valdo. And Valdo again, getting it from his Brazilian teammates. Rai, Le Guen. Guen, a little flick through. It's Campbell who got it away, but again it's given away. It's Ricardo now for Paris Saint-Germain. Rush hitting the ball long and forward, and at last there's relief for the home side. Ian Wright is just wandering around now and
yes, he's going to test his mental capacity now. I mean, it's a shame for the lad. I mean, he's a key man. He was brilliant out in Paris. He's worked himself daft today, but it's gone. He's now got to make sure his team get through to the final.
Absolutely right. Just the point I was going to make. He's now got to put away his personal disappointments and play as hard as he's ever played for the team. Up goes Smith. Here's Wright chasing. Winterburn. His teammates have been geeing Ian Wright up, particularly from the incident. Here's Wright again. Play the ball in, straight into the line. He's got a good throw on it. This time for Ginola, but the ball was hit away there. Comes hanging over the top. Half-time whistle. So far, so good for Arsenal. Kevin Campbell's goal, giving them a 2-1 aggregate. The downside is that yellow card for Ian Wright. But that's the good news so far. Arsenal leading 1-0 tonight, 2-1 on aggregate.
Welcome back. Arsenal 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. And let's have a look at the match statistics, because although Arsenal are a goal to the good, I think, Ray Wilkins, the statistics tell a different story.
Yes, they do, obviously with the 6-4 goal attempts. But the thing that worries me slightly, especially with Valdo's precision crosses from corners, is it's 5-1 in corners to Paris Saint-Germain. Valdo really does possess the ability to stick the ball where he wants to. I think that's a bit of a frightening situation for Arsenal.
It is. There were some frightening moments for them in that first half. We can have a look at maybe a couple of them now.
Yes, sir.
Great shot from Colitaire.
Yeah, that's right. They've had some great moves, the French side, and here we see Colitaire coming up here. And he just cracks it in, and Dave Seaman does ever so well. The ball is actually, in fact, going over the top, but Dave can't take the chance of letting it go. And we saw another super build-up. This was all on the right-hand side, and the last second was the most fantastic crossfield pass from Valdo. who really has been very instrumental in everything they've done. But Coletaire couldn't quite put that one in. But he's been a danger. He's been marauding up and down that left side and been causing a few problems. But the man that really does make them tick is Valdo.
Terrific for Arsenal fans, though, when situations like that occur, to see Tony Adams at his best tonight.
Adams has been a colossus. He made the tackle when poor old Dave Seaman made the poor throw in the first couple of minutes. And then there was a header going into the near post, which he got across the front of the forward player and bulleted the header away. And he really has been an absolute colossus.
There he is leading his team out there. What will George Graham have said to try and perhaps calm the Arsenal nerves?
I think he would just ask him for a bit more of the same. I think he would have pulled Ian Wright aside as well and had a little chat with Ian. He would have probably asked him to score the second goal that will take them there, and let's hope that he does that. He looks slightly more composed now anyway, doesn't he?
He does, indeed. A second goal as early as they score their first?
Let's hope so, fingers crossed, and then hopefully the French you'll see a little bit of their confidence wane and the Arsenal can get on top of the match.
Of course, you played for Paris Saint-Germain, and you were telling me earlier on that they can lose heart fairly easily.
Yes, they can. I think that with most sides on the continent, if you get on top of them, then you can definitely get them down. The confidence will go. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually get in their side. They have two players a lot better than I was, and I didn't really get a game. So things weren't that pleasant for me in Paris. But it's a super club. They are a big outfit. And there we see Valdo in the picture, the man that's been really instrumental in the way that they've played.
How long, if it is a matter of time, before they lose heart?
No, at 1-0 they won. There's always that faint hope that something can happen. As I say, they've got 5-1 as far as corners is concerned, and he does deliver the ball so well, there's that opportunity of scoring a goal. So as long as it stays at 1-0, they won't worry.
Let's see what the Arsenal manager thinks. George Graham is with Gary Newbon.
George, what did you say to Ian Wright at half-time? Because he was obviously distressed with that booking.
Yeah, he's just got to get it out of his mind now and get on with the game. He's got to sort of now contribute and make sure we get through to the final. The first half has been very interesting because their movement from midfield has been excellent. And they've created probably a lot more than I would have liked. But full credit to them. They're a very good side, good technicians with lots of great movement from midfield.
Thank you.
Well, you're back at the commentary box now with me, Brian Moore, Ron Atkinson alongside me. Valdo. This is Rai. Valdo, number 10 again. Well, they struck very quickly early in the second half in Paris. Arsenal must deny them that this time. Here's Wright. Dixon just keeping it in play. The ball from Selly. Smith. Again it's Smith. Jensen. Dixon playing it in. Only as far as Davis. Selly again. Forward to right. Chip wide now for Dixon. Good movement here from Arsenal. Dixon again. Campbell on that far side with him. Here's Kevin Campbell brought down on a free kick.
I would bet that's to within an inch of where Tony Adams scored against Torino, isn't it, from where the free kick was taken.
And
I
guess
see
what?
he's coming on that late run.
Tony Adams coming up on the late run now. French will be aware of him. Bold has made a little darting run in there as well. There's a lot of terrific movement there from Arsenal. And in the end, it was Smith who got the header.
You would say that on their set situations. They do have some great movement, Arsenal.
This is Fournier, stopped by Winterburn. There we see the replay again of Smith's header just wide. Sassus with the throw. Handball there by Davis. A free kick which Le Guen will take. Chip by him. Tony Adams. Oh, and Davis got in the way of Adams on that occasion. Dixon gets it forward up to right. Steve Bold. Again Adams. Knocked sideways. Jensen can't quite get there. Valdo. Fournier and Valdo again, the Brazilian. Made in this time for Fournier. And Arsenal again through Tony Adams. But Arsenal were in deep, deep trouble then from the moment Valdo found Fournier, and Fournier got to the byline. Here's another corner. Roche has come up from the back. Sassou's in there too. It's a much deeper one, and a good catch by David Seaman. And this was the moment before, Ron. Valdo's ball into Fournier.
There's some great build-up play here, and he just avoids Davis. And as you say, the man who in my book at the moment has been Arsenal's main man.
Well, here's Dixon. Well, he was outstanding here against Torino and scored the winning goal. He did some tremendous work at the back in the first leg in Paris.
I have to say, defensively, this is the best I've seen him play, Brian. Because I think normally, sometimes, when people are a bit busy around him, a bit quick around his feet, he does have his problems.
Cricket for Arsenal.
But tonight he's been alert and concentrating, and he's generally been first to most of the important things in the box.
Winterburn's kick. Floated towards Smith. Flicked on by him. And, well, Wright's shot wasn't that far off the mark.
No, that's what he is. He plays by instinct, doesn't he? I mean, they didn't look a situation on. He's hooked it over his shoulder. That's a nice little glance from Smith. Smith's done a lot of good work, actually, as the target player there tonight. And, you know, on another day, that might have dropped in the corner for him.
Steve Bowles. Davis. Beaten by Valdo. Here's Ginola. Germain's waiting in the middle. Valdo will be too far for him. It'll be a throw to Arsenal.
If Ian Wright could notch another goal for Arsenal, you just wonder what sort of reception the crowd would give him, don't you?
Do you feel, as I feel, that Arsenal need that second goal?
I do, because of the sort of thing that happened not so long ago when Fournier went through. I mean, they are sharp and they are incisive, although they haven't set off with quite the same sort of zip as they finished the half with Paris Saint-Germain.
Smith. Dixon. Through to Campbell, and now Fournier gets there before Wright. Some good skill there, knocking it clear up towards Rye. But again, Adams is there. Dixon heading it forward up to Campbell. Wright taking it on board. Quick turn. Wright looking for a shot. The keeper had it but lost it. And his clearance goes into touch. Up to the right foot, but not enough power really to bother Lama. It's an Arsenal throw. Winterburn with it. Scored early in the game. Arsenal leading 2-1 on aggregate. Valdo almost caught by Jensen, and then the little flick to the outside of the boot. Valdo in a bit of trouble. Le Guen with a header. Up goes Jensen. Le Guen again. Ginola. Jensen struggling too. And in the end, Colater puts it into touch so that Valdo can get some treatment. And also Gary Lewin can get on to have a look at John Jensen again.
It's Jensen actually has a little rap at him there.
But I think it's... No, he's already... Yes, he had a little
limping when he flips the ball up. Jensen, I felt a little bit earlier, has been struggling. But he had a very heavy bang in the first half. And I'm just wondering whether he's been struggling because, you know, that last little move when Fournier got in, I watched Jensen particularly then, and he's not the were talking about Winterburn having a dead leg there, and I've got a feeling he's had that sort of situation. Well, he's got a ready-made, hasn't he, David Hillier?
David Hillier for Jensen.
I don't think they could replace Valder.
I know a lot of you are watching in hospital. We wish you well. I've been asked by the Arsenal staff to mention a friend of theirs, Walter Kensick, who's having a pretty rough time at the moment, a great Gunners fan. So, Walter, if you're watching, I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. I hope you're all enjoying what you're seeing at the moment. I fancy this game is still very much on a knife edge. After Jorgen, the Portuguese manager of the Paris Saint-Germain side, Ronaldo looks as though he's going on. Jensen is okay. Ronaldo looks as though he's struggling quite badly there. And Dixon sportingly playing the ball to Lama. Dixon, the miss kick. Quite rightly, it's not construed as a back pass.
But I wonder what the noise level might have been like at the other end. Another back pass when it's your own team.
That's right. Seaman with a long clearance up towards Smith. It goes over the head of them all. Campbell looking to get in behind them. And Lama coming to gather it, hitting it long. Adams backpedaling straight from whence it came with David Seaman.
These keepers have both got such good kicks, you know, they could virtually play for the rest of the half banging it to each other.
It's gone towards Campbell. Ten minutes of the second half gone. Arsenal still 2-1 to the good on aggregate.
I think they're being complacent. The encouraging thing is that the French side haven't really come out and zipped. I thought, you know, they flew in both halves in Paris. They started off this game very brightly, but they certainly haven't started this half, apart from one very dangerous movement, with the same sort of zip.
Jensen getting it a long way back to David Seaman. Right, challenging there. Smith coming in. His touch might come to Winterburn. Arsenal throw. Goal has gone up towards the near post. Arsenal fans will be glad to know that Adams has stayed at the back. Here's Wright. Nice little turn by him. Campbell almost got in there, and Roche in the end hooks it away for Paris Saint-Germain.
A little bit surprised there, you know, that nobody made an appeal, because he did look to get heavily smashed there, did Campbell. But a good ball in, good football, very intelligent throw from Winterburn, a short throw, and everybody's expecting the long one. And a good hook centre by Wright.
Bowled in there this time, but here's Valdo. Ginola away on the left. The ball to Germain didn't come off. Fournier taking it up though. Now it is with Germain. Ginola away on the left again. Dixon closing him quickly. And Adams with a comfortable header away. Up to Kevin Campbell. Wright won't get to that one. Le Guen. Ricardo. Roche. Sticking it wide for Dixon. Now, good cross required here. Campbell almost in on the end of it. Lama getting it away, into touch for another Arsenal throw.
Another superb ball in though from Lee Dixon, wasn't it?
Davis, Dixon, there's a good ball by Dixon. Jensen, deflected off the defender. It's a corner. Sure you know that statistic now well enough. His 80th game today, Jon Jensen, and he's never yet scored for Arsenal. He had a brilliant shot, beautifully saved in Paris. He was looking for something there. He's got a corner for Arsenal. Floated in by Davis. Knocked away by Valdo. A corner handball there on the edge of the box, but it was an accidental one. Arsenal's throw.
He's got no right to be, Brian. It did actually just shave his shin pads as it went out of play. It's a good decision, smart decision from the referee.
Right. Turning beautifully there, Ian Wright. Really fired up now. A shot just wide of the far post.
Come on, son. Brilliant effort. Up on your feet again. Let's have another one. That was a brilliant football. Great turn. Sometimes he puts a little curl on those, doesn't he, and brings them in under the... But this is good football. Goes between them as if they're not there. I would have fancied him here to put a little half curl on it, but he's hit it the full gun there.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Adams with a header. Jensen. Forward there by Dixon. Here's Campbell picking up the loose ball, but Smith won't get hold of that one. Valdo. Closed down quickly by Jensen. Fournier. Slipped by Dixon. Ginola. That was an untimely slip there by Lee Dixon. And some good work by Seaman. That looked what we call an impossible angle for David Ginola. Already got a powerful shot and a little frown on the face there of David Seaman.
It's not the best thing to steady George Graham's nerves, catching it about 15 times like that, but I think we saw for the first time for a long while Ginola out on his more natural left-sided position, attacking a defender.
Dixon hitting it forward, Smith chasing it, Roche there with him, an Arsenal throw. Dixon again, hustled by Germain. He is a little hustler, this Germain. Played before he played for Paris, he played for Montpellier. I remember him against Manchester United when they were on their way to the 1991 Cup Winners' Cup final. Well, it's Ginola now. Winterbourne's got to get to this one. Fournier knocking it down. And Bold, well, it was a poor clearance by Bold that went straight to Fournier. Fortunately for Bold, the ball came back head high for him to make a much more sensible clearance.
Yeah, but I think we saw once again the threat of Ginola when he's out on that left wing position.
For a moment, it looked tough there. It wasn't a very good clearance, but it fell for Bold to make the second clearance. And here's Wright. Off the play by Wright. Sassos puts it away for an Arsenal throw. Arsenal wanting a second goal and looking hard for it now.
And he's looking the man most likely now, isn't he, Ian Wright? He looks as if whatever his problems are, he looks as mentally he's got himself together again, and he's doing what he does best, attacking defenders.
Smith, touch in. Bold going for this one. He was shoved by Rye. Good touch for Smith. Get on the end of this. Selly keeping it going for Arsenal. And then it's cleared up to David Ginola. If you just joined us, Ron's reference to Wright's problems. He was booked, got a yellow card just before half-time, which means if Arsenal get to the final, he misses it. An offside there. The flag up rather late. Seaman with a kick. Jensen chasing, Valdo got there first. Fournier. Colataire down the line for Ginola. To Arsenal.
Whether it's because he hasn't been playing so many games recently, or just look watching Rye, who I thought at times in the first half it looks a good combination with Valdo. Looks whether he's tiring or whether he's getting a bit disheartened, but certainly doesn't seem to be having the same zest or the same zip as he had in the early part of the game.
A throw to Paris, or rather a free kick to Paris.
In fact, apart from the flashes from Ginola now and again, and the little early run by, is it Laurent Fourier, there hasn't been that, hasn't been that much of a threat.
George has been here since May '86, nearly 8 years now, and he's won most things, but not a European. A manager with Arsenal. His last appearance 1980 in the final of the Footballers' Cup then against Valencia. The last time they won a European trophy was 1970 Fairs Cup against Anderlecht of Belgium. Ball straight to Smith from Germain, and Arsenal get a corner.
Yes, since the interval, Arsenal have been far and away the most positive side. Most of the major threats have come from them.
Davis then to serve another corner. Bowled again at the near post. Adams waiting to come in from a deeper position along with Smith. So here's Paul Davis. Floated in, safe catch by the keeper. Got a good throw on him too. Le Guen. Towards Germain on the far side, but a throw to Arsenal. English and French clubs, surprisingly, have met only 13 times over all the years in the various competitions. In Europe, England have 11 victories to their credit, and France 2. Paris fans wanting that third victory to come along tonight, but their side has certainly got to do something. Goal down, 2-1 on aggregate. Adams to Davis. Davis skillfully to Winterburn. Another throw to Paris Saint-Germain. David Hillier coming on. Seaman, long clearance. Met by Ricardo, met by Dixon. Davis just touching it back. In goes Winterburn. Fournier there with him. Chip forward by Le Guen. Away by Bold, up towards Smith. Goodness, he's covered some ground up there as a lone figure tonight as Alan Smith, holding off people. Fournier, now he looks a danger. And there are 4 of them up from Paris now, including Valdo. Colataire. Oh, my goodness, across the face of that Arsenal goal, and Rye absolutely threw himself at it.
I must admit, when Campbell first went onto the ball, I thought he was going to shape it. he's just fed it along the side. The collar turn and flashed across. Oh, that's a hair's breadth, isn't it? And really, I suppose the only real contribution Baldo's made this half, particularly since that heavy challenge from Jensen.
That's a good ball from Ian Wright. Lee Dixon striding forward now, a bit of space, plays it wide for Wright again. Sally is in the middle. Smith faithfully waiting for a cross. It doesn't come, and Ricardo has got time to measure up his clearance. But then only hits Adams with it. Campbell taken nicely on his body. Might get a shot in here. And a good one too. Now Arsenal must put that behind them and defend. It's Germain coming forward. A little workhorse through the midfield. Finds Solitaire. Valdo. Fournier. Sassu going outside him. Bold with a header. Gets it clear. Solitaire will pick it up for Paris Saint-Germain. Inside for Valdo. They're looking a bit menacing now. There are plenty of them forward in blue shirts. There's a little ball through. Rye couldn't get a hold of it. Solitaire scooping it wide again. Rye with a header. Davis with a not very convincing clearance. Winterburn coming for it. And again. This is exactly the spirit Arsenal need to foster now.
Yes, that's good commitment. That's good driving at the game.
And there's Winterburn again. Crowd enjoyed that too. And Jensen has got to have it too. Selly knocking it forward. Right chasing, but Roche is there with a header back to his goalkeeper. Dixon turning away from any thought of a back pass up to Smith. 20 minutes left. Arsenal still with this one goal advantage. Le Guen, the captain of Paris Saint-Germain. Germain. They really have shoved a few forward now. Here's Valdo. Play to Germain. Ginola lost beat to the ball by Seaman.
It's only natural they'll start to try and charge the game, but I'm with these stakes. You know, there's no good sitting back and just taking a 1-0. What has just become a little bit disconcerting was I thought Valdo was ready for coming off. I thought he packed the game in. All of a sudden he started creeping in a bit, you know. 3 or 4 nice touches, a few little telling passes. He's getting the feel for the game again.
Germain with that splendid left boot of his.
This line's never stopped working for them, has he?
Fournier's been terrific. Here he is, number 7 on the ball again. Rye. Sassu. This is Ricardo. Third of the Brazilians. Ginola and Adams. And it cannoned off Germain. And Seaman happy to let that go for the goal kick.
Good job Germain wasn't wide awake then, was it? I mean, that's a lovely little layup there from Ginola. 1-0, it's never over, is it? I mean, Arsenal strong, well in command of the game. All of a sudden, the French team just started creeping in, started putting their passes together, and have got themselves into the attacking half more often.
Right, a bit of space. Smith and Campbell in the middle. There's Winterburn. Brazilian to another. Valdo. Ginola's in there waiting also. And this might be a great chance. But it's gone away.
Well, I'll bet George Graham died 1,000 deaths there on the touchline. I mean, that looks set up for someone of his quality. They say work down the right from the 2 Brazilians. Ball's there, a little flick into his run there. Now, you'd have bet your life on that. I just wondered, I thought he might have taken that off his left side a little bit.
Worrying moments for the Arsenal manager and Arsenal fans everywhere. Well, Arsenal have pepped up their goal attempts in the second half. It stands at 9-9 now, but what is the real important statistic is that Arsenal are 1-0 ahead on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. Thanks to Kevin Campbell's goal early in the first half.
They've certainly had more of the players and more of the attacking play this half, Arsenal. Haven't got a second goal while they've been in command. Now it's going to be a long quarter, an hour or so, I think.
Good left boot on him. Ginola, we haven't seen very much of him tonight. Rise waiting in the middle. Ginola just scooping it in there. Bold knocking it away. Le Guen. Roche. Valdo. Quickening to the task a little bit now, Paris. Valdo's ball. Knocked away by Bold and then by Davis. Valdo again. And a free kick. Valdo with the free kick for Paris Saint-Germain. They piled men in there too. And he hit it straight at Davis. But he's going to get another chance, Valdo. Davis isn't making it easy for him though. Fournier eventually does knock it in there. It was Lee Dixon who got that one away. Valdo, a lovely ball with the outside of the boot there. Germain, a little scrapper in the midfield. And he's met Selly and Jensen. And between them they've conceded a free kick.
Possibly the first free kick they've conceded, Arsenal, outside the penalty box, albeit a fair old distance. I wouldn't have liked to have seen that 10 yards closer to goal.
So, Seaman making sure the wall is built to his liking. 4 in it. Le Guen, well wide. And Arsenal, I think, will very shortly be making a substitution. They're getting David Hillier ready. They've been very worried about Winterburn's fitness. Although Winterburn has just about given them everything in the second half. I can't think there are any complaints about him.
It's Davis.
Davis? Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's always a bit of an awkward one, I think, for George Graham, because Davis, out of all his midfield players, is his most controlling player. That if he can get on the ball, can keep the supply going. Whereas Hillier now will go and sort of maybe thinks they're creeping into the game too much. Maybe he feels that somebody like Valdo wants to be taken care of. Possibly that's where Hillier will come into play.
Well, the Arsenal fans were on their feet for Paul Davis. So they recognise his contribution. And here's David Hillier just back from injury. A real little digger in the midfield.
I think he's just given Wright the signal that Wright's got to work the left side. More or less the shape they started off with, actually.
Roche hitting it forward to Wright. Hillier's first touch finds Winterburn, stabbed by him towards Wright. It flicks through to Alan Smith. That's a free kick.
It's maybe one they didn't need. I know the referee's got to give it when he sees a fella chopped down like that, but maybe Arsenal would have been happier taking the game in flow there.
Winterburn with the free kick towards Smith. Jensen. Campbell. Paris are going to make a substitution also very soon. It's Gravelaine who we saw stripping off, but in the meantime it's Sasu coming in and Tony Adams again standing in his way.
Oh, that was an important one, wasn't it? Rye was bang on behind him. How many times have we said that tonight, Brian?
Harris going to make this substitution now. Yes, they're going to take off Rye and Javier Gravelaine. Now he might cause a problem or two as well. 3 caps for France, so the Brazilian goes off. And Gravelin has got 3 caps for France and 20 goals last season for Caen. And hasn't really played that many times since he arrived in Paris Saint-Germain, but obviously he's a striker with an eye for goal. Gravelin. Oh my goodness, he very nearly had an opportunity with his first touch, but it's Le Guen chipping it there with the left boot. Campbell up there, Jensen, and Selly then getting it away towards Smith. Smith chasing, Ricardo's after him. So a quick word from Gary Newborn.
Brian, the thinking behind the Arsenal substitution was purely to put a fresh pair of legs on, and Hillier was told to play up a bit front in midfield and Jensen to sit back in front of his back four to make sure that the defence is really tight against attacks like this.
Gravelin shot, just over, thank you, Gary.
That was some dig, wasn't it?
Well, he had a tremendous record with Caen last season as well, 20 goals. Paris Saint-Germain bought him, but his chances have been few and far between.
Number 2, Santos.
They're going to bring on Lasser, who started the game in Paris. And they've taken off Sassou. More of a midfielder, plays, in fact he's captain of the French under-21 side.
Now this is where it's important when Arsenal do play out from the back that they manage to link up with Wright, because there's going to be spaces now, no danger.
What the French have done is they put Fournier now in the right back position looking after Wright.
He'll charge forward, man. I mean,
That's
he's a natural competitive charging player. I mean, he can play in that defensive role, but at this stage of the game you can bet money he's going to be charging forward.
10 minutes now that separate Arsenal from the final of the Cup Winners' Cup. Campbell. Dixon. Here's Campbell. What they wouldn't give for another goal now, but not. Don't come there.
Oh, his first touch was right there. I mean, he'd been in a lovely position there. Virtually clean through with support players to link up with. He's actually looked tired to me this half, Campbell.
Jensen. Hillier. But it's straight into the path of Colater.
See, George Graham won't like that. I mean,
Bold. Not a very good clearance. And Lasser over the top.
the point I was making there, Brian, is Campbell's got his duties to run forward and produce, yeah, but he's also got to make sure that the wide player on his side, Patrick Colater, doesn't get forward, and I thought he slept in a little bit there. That may be tiredness, maybe the occasion getting to him. See, on this side of the field, on the left-hand side, Wright will do that. Wright's got great energy, great industry, he can run forward, but he'll also track back.
Seaman with the kick. Inside 9 minutes now. Well, Portuguese manager of the French Cup winners. The time is quickly running out for them now. But as Mr. Clough always used to say, it only takes a second to score a goal. This is Roche. Bold. Oh, again an untimely slip, that time by Winterburn. And it was Valdo playing it in for Gravelin. And Bold now with a chance to get it away. Kept his head well, right. And again the French kept position. Ginola on this side now. Plays the ball into Valdo. Le Guen shot well wide, broken.
Yeah, we've heard good reports about Le Guen and the power of his left-footed shooting and so forth, but once or twice in the first leg, and tonight he's had a couple of situations that he hasn't really connected with, has he? From decent opportunities, really.
We're down to 7 minutes now. That's time to be added on. Goes Campbell. Smith battling well. My goodness, how he's played tonight. Jensen. Unfairly challenged by Gravelin, the substitute. Arsenal's kick. They're waiting for Adams to come forward. Having a quick word with Selly. And the referee won't be too happy about them wasting time. Both Selly and Adams on yellow cards already. Selly with the free kick. Floated towards Alan Smith. And a foul by Smith. And Ricardo, a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain.
I think he just stood his body strength well. Ricardo went down.
Adams away. Campbell coming to help. Smith won't get to that one. Just 6 minutes left now. Voltaire. Pushing more and more people forward now. Valdo, can he open the door? Good clearance that time by Dixon. Just look at the goalkeeper rushing out there to pick it up. Every second counts now, and the keeper takes the throw. Roche. Here's Wright. Finds Jensen. Oh, that's a good ball by Jensen for Selly, but he was too slow onto it, and I think it must have been 30,000 people here hurrying him along as he went. But this is some good work here by Hillier. Ricardo. Now Fournier. Germain. In goes Winterburn again. Free kick to Arsenal. Let's have another look at the clock. Coming towards. Oh, it's 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes left. Just under 5 minutes left, rather. 34,202. I suppose in terms of sheer enjoyment, it's not been one of the greatest games, Ron, but it's been on a knife edge. You were trying to tell me something.
Just having a look now, I've just seen Tony Adams go straight over to the bench and said he's coming off. So that would either mean, I would guess at this stage, it'd probably be Martin Keown, wouldn't it? You know, because with his natural defensive sort of attributes.
Calling for a stretcher as well, yep. Stuart Houston. So that's bad news for Arsenal. Nigel Winterburn.
It must be said that it's a very, very good game, hasn't it? Very strong game.
A terrific, spirited game in this second half when Arsenal needed it occasionally to lift their spirits. And, I mean, if it's a serious injury, remembering that the Cup Winners' Cup final, if Arsenal were to get there, is only 3 weeks away. Already without Ian Wright with 2 yellow cards. But as George Graham knows, that's why you have a squad of players. And he's used the squad well. There's Winterburn going in. Can't quite see what happened there, Ron.
This is the challenge now.
The challenge there from behind, yes.
It's probably the way he's twisted as well, the way he's hit the ground there, more than the actual impact from the substitute Gravelin.
The challenge by Gravelin. Well, the clock's ticking on, but of course the referee now is going to add some time on. The clock says 3 minutes to go, and the rest. Still raining, and the temperature's dropped a good bit over the last hour. In one sense, at any rate. So just what, will they put Keown straight to left back, Ron?
I would guess so, yeah. I mean, he's played there for them in the past, mainly as a marker. He's played against Hullet, didn't he, for England in that particular position. And with 5 minutes left, George will say, look, get everybody in there, block up and seed up.
And the fans again recognising the contribution that Nigel Winterburn's made to this game tonight.
Arsenal substitution.
So indeed, Martin Keown is on. He's also on a yellow card. So Keown is going to left back, straight across here. Well, don't be fooled by the clock now that says inside 2 minutes. There'll be plenty of time to be added on now, so hold on to your seats for a little longer, you Arsenal fans. But Ricardo gets it away. Gets it back now to Lam. Long clearance by here. Bold was there for Arsenal. Now Smith going in. And Lama. And Smith couldn't quite get there. Could have been slightly impeded by the defender there. And Germain just as well for Arsenal that the whistle went there because Germain was away having beaten Bold, but there was a foul as he did so.
He's also got a bit of fire in his belly by the look of it, hasn't he, Germain? Whereas I thought Raya died this half, he looks as if he's now got the presence to try and take the fight to Arsenal.
Seaman with a long clearance. There's Bold with a header. Nigel Winterburn with a sprained ankle apparently, but he's been taken to hospital for a precautionary x-ray. Came off Keown. It's a throw to Paris Saint-Germain. Valdo with it. And now Le Guen, the captain. Heading it long with the left foot down towards Ginola. Taken nicely on his body. Trying to turn away from Dixon. Flicking it inside the full-back. The flag is up for offside. And as well for Arsenal that it was.
This is what for Kevin Campbell it was because Coletto's run right up the back of him.
Time added on, but there'll be a minute or two of that, that's a certainty. In goes Dixon. So important that Arsenal keep possession, do nothing silly now, keep their concentration and their discipline going just for a few more seconds. Campbell chasing. A goal kick. Paris Saint-Germain wasting no time with this one. Lama with it. Long towards Ginola. But Dixon is there. Bang it away. Up into Roex. And also the challenge on Dixon was a little on the late side. That's going to be a free kick.
I would have thought Dixon won't mind taking a free kick from that to help relieve pressure, will he?
And take a second or two to do it. It's going to be Seaman who takes it.
I wouldn't like to see him fall over that far out of his goal.
Hit towards Campbell. Trying to shrug off the challenge of Ricardo. Molotov getting it down the line, but Selly stopped him making too much progress. A throw to Paris Saint-Germain. A minute and a half of time already been played. Ginola. Can he drum up a piece of magic somewhere? Roche knocking it back. Ricardo hitting it forward. Little Valdo's after this one. Keown with the header back. Safely to Seaman. The last tense, desperate seconds now. Hillier can't get to it. Fournier, who you fancy could be so dangerous. Tries to hit it towards Ginola, but it was Dixon's header, gets it away. A little header that time from Jensen. Forward to Smith again for Arsenal. Over 2 minutes of time added on. Campbell bursting on the scene. Arsenal get a corner. They might well be home now.
I don't think we'll see the brigade coming up for this one, do you, Brian? I think Adams, Bold and all the big lads will stay at home now.
They have indeed. Adams has just told Dixon to get forward.
Marvellous result this will be for Arsenal if it stays like this. Also be a fabulous result for the British, well, the English league, won't it? Absolutely right. I mean, more points to, it may very well be that this earns another team
A UEFA place.
UEFA place over the next year or so.
Germain coming forward for Paris Saint-Germain. It's not over yet. This is Ginola, the dangerous man. Bold is alive to it. Plays it. Oh my goodness. He almost played that into the path.
You can see the nerves. If that had been a Premiership game, that would have gone straight back to the goalkeeper there from Bold.
Ginola being hounded there by Adams. And Adams wins the tackle and wins it well, but Smith is offside.
I thought for a minute Big Tony Adams was going to crown his day by nicking it and chasing it himself.
What I worried about was he might actually mistime the challenge and get a yellow card right on a stroke of time.
I'd like to see him get back in that goal area.
He could do with him. Lama's taking the free kick. Why didn't Adams get back there? Bold is up there. Adams is trying to get back now. Bold has made it clear with this header. Lasser, the substitute, plays it inside for Valdo. The last seconds. Lasser again. The little chip in there. That time Adams was back. Keown in there as well. Selly getting it away, but not very far. Back it comes again. The whistle's gone. Arsenal go into the final. Thanks to Kevin Campbell's goal in the first half. And a 2-1 victory on aggregate over Paris Saint-Germain. Let's go straight to hear from George Graham.
George, congratulations. I mean, you're through to the European Cup Winners' Cup final, but wasn't it really hard work out there tonight?
Yeah, because they're a very good team, good passing team. I think the longer the game went on, the better we got. But I think in the last 10 minutes, the result was more important than the performance tonight. I thought, funnily enough, we played better in Paris than we did tonight. But we got the result, and that's the important thing.
And your defence hung on there because they were really pumping, Tony Adams in particular.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard work. As I say, they're an excellent team. So, I mean, all credit to us. All credit for us for getting a good result over there, a good performance. And tonight we finished it off. Not with the style we'd like to, but as I say, the important thing is to get through to the final.
Well, the only disappointment is Ian Wright, but what a good night for you. Well done, George.
Thank you very much.
Arsenal 1, Paris Saint-Germain 0. They're through to the European Cup Winners' Cup final in Copenhagen in 3 weeks' time, and the emotion is pouring from every voice here at a very, very happy Highbury. We'll have more in a couple of minutes.